I tell my bitch get ready to go. Give her a mission, she bring me the dope. I tell my bitch get ready to go. I tell my bitch get.
Hello my friends, this is Getty with gafiringline, and I've never done a video just on the grip. We've discussed the grip a whole bunch, but we've never really done like a dedicated grip video, so that's what we're gonna work on today. The purpose of the grip is to hold the gun stable so that our aiming point doesn't move while we press on the trigger. That's the textbook definition of why we grip the gun the way we do. I'm gonna show you my way of gripping, the way that I teach grip, the way that I present it in all my classes, which comes from a combination of people that I've worked with over the years. So the principles of the grip are going to be leverage, efficiency, and traction. I wanna maximize how much mass I'm putting on the gun, and then I'm really gonna pay attention to what the support hand is doing. Very important thing to remember is that the gun hand is going to be mostly relaxed. The support hand is the one doing all the work. And in particular, the finger on the support hand that's doing the most advantage on the grip is the pinky, simply because it's the furthest lever away from the gun trying to rotate out of our grips. So recoil works a lot like water or a lot like electricity. It's gonna flow to the path of least resistance. Okay, if I take this HK VP9 match, which is currently locked, empty, and unloaded, no magazine in the gun, okay? If I hold this gun with one hand and I shoot it one-handed, what you're gonna observe is the gun's gonna recoil up and to the left because there's nothing here to block it. Once I have the gun gripped, the recoil is effectively trapped, which means the recoil can only move in one direction, which happens to be the direction that my posture is braced for. I'm not trying to fight anything. I'm not trying to eliminate recoil. Recoil is a necessary piece of operation for your firearm. Your gun has to recoil in order for it to work. Now for my red dot shooters, here's a very cool thing for you as well. We can use the dot to diagnose what's happening with the grip and posture based on the gun's behavior. What I'm hoping to see, the gun should not lift much. It's going to lift a little bit because that's how they work, but it's going to return. That's the important thing. If it lifts and doesn't return, that's a clue, Sherlock. There's something wrong and we need to pay attention to it. Okay, so the grip really does begin with the gun hand, the dominant hand that's on the gun. So what I'm looking for, okay, if you look at the grip of your pistol, you're gonna notice that there's an upswept tang towards the top of the grip here. I need to bury my hand into that tang as high as it can physically go. And my thumb is gonna be flagged or lifted up slightly. So once I've established this grip, the rest of my fingers are nice and tight around the bottom, but I'm not applying any extra effort into them. They're just holding the gun in place. Very important note, finger stays high and off the trigger until I've made the decision to fire the gun. Next is introducing the support hand. This is the important part, so make sure you pay attention.
Wang! Pay attention.
With the support hand, I'm gonna make a knife hand with it. I'm gonna take this knife hand, I'm gonna swing it up on a 45-degree angle underneath the gun. What I'm aiming for is my index finger knuckle on my support hand to impact my middle finger knuckle underneath the trigger guard on the gun hand. This is the first piece of contact that's gonna happen for the grip during your draw stroke, so this is where I like to practice. Once I've made that initial contact, I'm then going to take that big chunky muscle of the base of my thumb and I'm gonna fold it into the grip as I rotate slightly so that I can establish a high and tight grip on the gun. I'm maximizing the amount of traction that meat is getting onto the gun, and then my thumbs simply float. They're not doing anything. My thumbs are just floating in space. If John were to come over here and flick my fingers, they would wiggle. So I'm looking at the center of that target. Notice my gun is slightly proud. That means that as I present, the dot is gonna come in from the top of the window. Cool. One important detail that you may be able to notice from behind the gun. Notice that even if I've got the gun fully extended, there's no gap opening in my grip. If this support hand creates a gap, well, guess what direction that recoil is going? It's going that way. And you're going to see that in the behavior of the gun. Your dot's gonna torque to one direction or the other. And that's where there's a gap in the grip or there's a lack of effort or a lack of support there. So I'm just gonna put the gun in my hand. I'm gonna take my time and make sure I've got my grip high on the gun. My support hand is gonna roll in, make that finger-to-finger contact. My palm's gonna roll in, rotate to take up all the space. And then I'm gonna be gripping with my entirety of my support hand side with focus on the pinky. So now I've got that together. The gun is still currently empty. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna present the gun, I'm gonna see my dot, and I'm gonna prep and press the trigger, and I'm gonna see what the dot does. And based on the behavior of the gun, which is told to me by the dot, nothing happened. That shot would have gone exactly where it should have been. That's where recoil comes in. You're gonna see the gun reciprocate, it's gonna go back and forth. It should return exactly or very, very close to where it started from. My vision, I'm looking on the target where I want the dot, where I want the bullet to go. So I'm looking at an alpha box right now, and I'm picking a spot in the alpha box, and that's where I'm focusing my vision to. Vision is a very, very deep topic. We talk about it a whole lot in class, so make sure you get involved with us. So now we're gonna chalk up the gun, so we're hot. So all I'm gonna do is fire one round in the alpha box. I'm gonna let the gun track, and I'm gonna pay attention to what the grips are doing and what the gun's doing. If I need to make any changes, it'll be based on information I'm given by the gun. Posture is nice. I'm looking where I want the dot to appear. I'm gonna extend and fire one. So I saw the gun lift, I saw it return. I don't really care what happens after it lifts as long as it comes back. The dot returning is the most important thing. So let's do that one more time. I'm pretty happy with that so far. So now let's add a second shot. We're gonna turn it into a double now. And I'm really, again, I'm paying attention to what the gun is doing. So my dot never left the window. I knew that both of those were alphas the moment that it fired because I saw the dot lift, call that shot calling, and that tells me everything I need to know. We're gonna do a couple more doubles. Very distinct pairs. Now, here's the fun part. We're gonna walk toward target. So we can tell based on the target what pattern is happening in the grips. I'm getting this information without looking at the target because my dot is telling me everything I need to know while I'm maintaining and disciplined in my target focus. So all the hits are clearly inside the alpha. I'm very happy with that. My central point of vision is in this box area here. So as long as I perceive my dot in this general area, that's a go signal and I know it's time to go. So once the gun comes out, I'm taking the first shot in motion, so the dot never really fully settles. As soon as I perceive it, it's bang, bang, it comes back, bang, bang, it comes back, bang, bang. So this amount of motion in the dot, totally 100% acceptable, granted what we're doing here. If these were hollowing out one nice ragged hole, that means I need to do it sooner or faster. So let's do one more rep. We're gonna up the round count to 6, and then we're gonna have somebody else do it. Some people would call this a bill drill. Cool. I'm very happy with what I saw. So I saw the dot lift, I saw it return, I said go. I saw it lift and return, I said go. And that's happening at the speed of my vision. So the cool thing about shooting this way, one of the biggest benefits is I'm preserving my target focus, shot calling in real time. So if I need to throw a makeup shot, I can do it at the speed of my splits. I don't have to shoot, look over the gun, make the correction, and then reprogram everything. I stay locked in the entire time, and that's the idea. Speaking of locked in, you should be shooting with grip chalk. I recommend locked in grip. Damn, I'm good. So now we're gonna tag in Harrison. Him and I have been working on his grip for a little bit, and we're gonna see if any changes have been made. All right, so this is Harrison, and we're gonna be working with one of our rental guns today. He happened to grab a rental Staccato P with an 8-point acro on it. So go ahead and turn it face up range for me. And he's gonna build the grip the same way we've been doing it together. So he's going to start with a high grip on the gun hand side. Go ahead and introduce your support hand. So make the knife hand, bring it up, make that contact, and then fold in the meat of your hand and fill that gap and rotate up slightly and just take as much space as you can. You wanna hog all that real estate. And then when you're happy with it, go ahead and extend and we'll check it. You feel happy with that?
I do.
Okay. So as not to burn his arms out, we're gonna go through this pretty quick. So what I'm gonna check on this is I'm gonna check where the pressures are based on what the gun is doing. And there's no magazine in the gun. I'm gonna check. We're good. So the slide has clearance over the hand. We're happy. He's not gonna get cut or rubbed or anything like that. But more importantly, I'm looking at, is there a gap in the grip? And I do see a little gap back here. So all I want you to do is slide your support hand back so that those are sealed just ever so slightly. That looks great. So make sure these thumbs are floating. So I'm just gonna check the thumbs, make sure they're floating, and they are. So I'm gonna give him some feedback so that he knows where to be engaging the grip. So I want you to be gripping in the base of the thumb, and I want you to be gripping on the pinky of the support hand side. Let the gun hand hold the gun, but don't put any effort into it beyond that. So now I'm putting a little bit of torque on the gun side to side to feel resistance. I'm seeing if there's a gap or anything weird happening, and currently there is not. Now I'm gonna push up and down on the muzzle of the gun. I want you to fight me on this. Okay. And we're gonna see what changes, if any. So let these elbows hang. Just let them hang. Good. See how the shoulders went down? Mm-hmm. So Harrison has a habit of shrugging, so I want to make sure that the shoulders are nice and impacted. So that looks good. So now engage that grip like you had it before. I'm going to go ahead and mark you up now. So here's a sign or a clue that your grips are fully sealed up. So John, you want to swing around this way? Yeah, I got you. So what I'm looking for is I've got the bulk of the hand here. Okay, that's the thenar muscles, the base of the thumb, and then we've got the initial joint of the thumb. This makes a pronounced hole, and the base of the thumb is going to fill that hole. So what we should see is a solid shape or a solid arrow. So here's something that I've noticed on this as well. This doesn't have to be perfectly aligned. If it's off a couple of degrees, it's fine. As long as this is sealed up in the rear and we're able to put leverage on the gun, that's all that matters. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and give me a dry fire. So put the dot where you want it, prep and press on the trigger, and then tell me what the dot does.
Stayed right there.
I saw nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
That looked great. All right, chalk it up. Load, make, ready. Okay, so from here, I want you to put the dot in the alpha box, and I want to track what the dot is doing. I want you to tell me what it does as it leaves and returns, if it leaves and returns. Okay, so when you're ready, present and fire one. Okay, so did you see the big tilt?
Yeah, so that was me not at all focusing on it.
Correct, so we need a little more in the pinky, and your posture, you can probably be a little more proud in the posture. Yeah, that looks fine. That's better. Did you see it return?
Yeah, it came in from like 1 o'clock.
Good. Okay, so now relax. Now I want you to present and fire one. So put the dot where you want it, prep and press in motion. Okay, good, we're still in. So did you see any weird behavior in the dot?
The dot reset a lot higher because I didn't have good pinky grip on it.
Okay. So now we're gonna move on to shooting a double. And what we're gonna notice here is when we add a second shot, some qualities of the grip may change. I wanna make sure you're target focused. So the dot should just live inside the alpha box and it should just float.
Okay.
So when you're ready, give me a double.
I dove the first shot really bad.
I saw that. So that is initial grip pressure. So build your grip now. Both hands on the gun, build it exactly the way you want it. Lock in that left hand, your support hand, nice and tight. Good.
Okay.
And give me a double. Much better. Much better. Okay, give me a double. Good. One more. He's carving a little hole out there. It looks great. So you're going to fire 6 rounds quickly. Yep. And I want you to manage the grip the best you can. Do not slow down to make the hits. Track the dot and manage it. So this is a test to make sure the grips are doing their job.
Got it. Okay.
We haven't been checking the target for every round, but we can tell where the bulk of everything's going, which we're really happy with, but we do see those, right? Mm-hmm. They're still inside the alpha. Did you see the dot when you fired those rounds?
Yes.
Okay, did you perceive it as being inside the box?
Yes. I was running it fast. What you wanted is 6 shots in a quick staccato. And God, I hate myself.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And as soon as I saw the dot coming in, I was breaking the trigger.
Good.
So I was probably running a little faster than I should have for my grip.
So here's the thing. Some people would see this nice little group and then see these flyers and they would think, oh, I'm doing something wrong. You're actually not. They're still inside the box. So if the shape of this target, if the proximity of it were to change, the priorities would change as well. So the cool thing about doing this and practicing this way is you're shooting at the speed of your vision, and we're actually learning how to process information faster so we can make better decisions on the fly. Based on things that we've done in the past, are you able to perceive any difference in the grip now that you've kind of paid attention to what the pressures are doing?
The biggest difference that I see is my dot tracking. So when the dot leaves the window, if I'm not, really running it and on it perfect, it actually comes back inside the window and I can pick it up faster, which is nice. That's the biggest perceived difference to me.
So that's a great example of paying attention to the behavior of the gun and how our grips can influence it. And it's not just the grip, it's your grips, it's your posture, and it's your vision. They work together to make this whole thing happen. Cool, good work. In 18 rounds, right, we've perceived a meaningful difference in the grip, and that's part of the reason why I like coaching so much, because you get to watch that happen with people. So this has been a brief explanation and kind of a snapshot of what we do in some of our classes, particularly in the Applied Pistol and Turbo Pistol program, and we spend a lot more time on individual folks, and we get a lot more rounds in the gun, so we start seeing bigger changes happen sooner. If you want to get involved in our training program, you'll find all the information in the links down below, as well as on the website under training. Thank you to Harrison for coming out. This is my first time getting to actually work with him after we've been doing a lot of dry work together and playing a lot of Ace VR, so it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, shoot more guns, be safe, and come see us soon. Very good.
You got a pistol class on the 28th of this month, right?
June 28th.
All right.
Correct.